Returns with Leigh, the entertainment podcast designed to entertain you. Hello guys, Doctor Who Fever hits the climax as this will be the last Doctor Who themed episode for a while until the series chat for Doctor Who Podcast Day. But don't worry, 5 reviews will air in the summer. So yes, and that will all lead to the review of the series on Doctor Who Podcast Day. So I'm going to be previewing series 2. Leigh has another twist. Oh, there's always a twist at the end. Well, it is kind of true. There is a twist at the end because I'm going to be talking Junior Eurovision because there is a Eurovision themed episode and I feel Junior Eurovision deserves a bit more love. So I want to introduce you to that one. So I'm going to be introducing you to some few stars. We have Polly Genova, Destiny Chuknia, Olivier Minne, Freya Skye, and plenty of more. But I will try and reduce it so it's more compact and you get half Doctor Who and half Junior Vision. A quick question. Which 4 hosts have hosted Junior Vision twice? Now, I've put this on social media. Please write down your answers and I'll reveal the answer at the end of the episode. So you have plenty of time to think. Let's get started with Series 2 and what to expect and some of my thoughts. Let's get the atmosphere going. As you know, this podcast is a 15 spoiler. Yes, I love 15. Gatwa has been on a consistent streak at the moment, and that is rare for an RTT Doctor. So something he is doing is working for me as a fan. He is king. He is Mr. Din Djarin too. He and a lot of female leads like Catherine Hahn, Rosario Dawson, who will be back in Ahsoka, yes, and Amanda Stenberg have been showing that diversity is needed, and they can do it in a good way. There has been some pressure from Chewie as he was a hit last year, but Julia Whittaker might quite well, and she was quite consistent, so I have full confidence that she will still be consistent at the end of Series 2. Freya Skye is here to bring something new, but she has a greatest hit mix of characters blended into her role of Belinda Chandra. These characters are Desmond Khan and Clara Oswald. I don't see Martha Jones' comparisons, which is a good thing for both Martha and Belinda in the long run. Belinda will challenge the Doctor like my girl Clara Oswald, and she's an equal to him, and she will teach Doctor things about himself. She forms a friendship with the Doctor, which always is a beauty of Doctor. I can't wait for that because this is an absolute mishmash of things that work well and are doing quite well in recent years. The rest Clara effect? That's what I think could be the case for Belinda, as she will be at risk, but it's mostly the Doctor's fault this time. Sorry, 15, but you're going to get the blame for this. Clara, on the other hand, put herself at risk. You remember when she made that deadly risk and face to him? Clara, what? That is definitely a reverse, not a comparison. Millie Gibson is back, and what I've heard about her role has me a bit worried because I think Ruby in Series 1 has been consistently on point. I loved her, and I feel like Ruby might be in trouble based on my pet peeves. If she gets a good story, like she did last series, she could be strong. But I'm hoping a miracle occurs for her, because I don't want Ruby being overshadowed, because I do love her. The recurring actors in this series are Gemma Redgrave, Jenna Howard King, Angela Winter, Alexander Devon, Michelle Greenwich, Susan Smith, and Ruth Malley. They have a big fight going on because recurring characters not too recently have tended to be outshone by the Mandalorian dominance. Peggy Motto, the Armor, etc. The Mandalorian dominance will return in 2026, so Russell needs to fix this with his current characters before it's it because they've got potential. I'm just not seeing it yet. Flood is back. Yes, Mrs. Flood. Anita Dobson will be back as the mysterious woman who claims the Doctor has a sad ending. As a fan, all I can say to new fans is be prepared when it happens. Now, thinking about 12 and 13, a bit juicy at the matter, but that's fine. As that's a good sign because the material will connect with you like it's connecting with me. I'm interested to see what the deal is with Mrs. Flood this year because obviously she's going to be in every episode, a bit like Susan Twist last year. I do think she could make a real big impact. Let's have a look at our guest stars for this season. Last year we had the Maris Maestro, Rogue Jovissa and Lindy Traitorbean. Who do we have this year? On the roster, we have Leigh Isaac Chung, Charlie Kumdu, Freddie Fox. Alan Cummings is back, but this time as Mr. Ring-a-Ding. And there are plenty of more. But I want to focus on a very special guest star right now. Yes. This actress has broken barriers for the deaf community I'm talking about Rose Aileen Ellis, who will be playing A-List. Rose is well known for winning Street 21 and that Sundance she did, her couple's choice won a BAFTA in 2022 because she did a moment where she had the sound off, so we were all in her world, Rose's world, and it is one of those moments that still stands out to this day. Sylvie Stone was the first deaf actress to be in Doctor Who. She was in 2015 and she did a fantastic job. She's still doing good stuff now, Sophie. I think she's done Midsomer Murders, she's also done Shetland. She's done really well for herself, just like Rose is doing right now. The episode is a scary theme, and just like Rose in real life, Ellis is deaf, and this is a good thing as they incorporate the struggles of the deaf community in this episode, and the Doctor, of course, will relate. So that's going to give a lot of important subtext to trying to understand the community and hoping that people who are in this situation or have these issues have the support or someone to help them out. I'm hoping the Doctor will help A-List out. I'm hoping this is just as good as the moments I saw with KB in See Your Friends Again. If you haven't seen it, of course, KB's orcs end up being corroded on the brown landscape of London, and she explains her struggles to Wim because of disability, but she didn't tell her friend Fern. That changes later on. Some of KB's struggles appealed to me with her disabilities on stuff that she couldn't do, and I felt it had a personal connection to me. So if you haven't seen my final review on that, please check it out because I do talk about it. I'm hoping the deaf community will see the story and A-List will have the same impact KB had on me, but in a different kind of way. The gods are likely to be a theme again this series. If I'm honest, the defeats they have had haven't been eye-catching. Sutek's the only one that hit, and I do love a good defeat. Maestro had an iconic defeat, but they didn't have the constant build, but it just didn't work for me. The Toy Makers was actually quite funny, but when I recently watched it, I actually was having a good old laugh with it, but sometimes it can feel a bit generic when I'm not watching it for quite some time. Russell has a bit of work to do here. The Ahsoka rumours, obviously are starting to come into play now, and from what I've heard, they're bringing a few gods. For example, there's Abeleoth, and of course the Mortis trio. She looks very scary, does Abeleoth, by the way. I haven't watched the arc, but I do find them iconic from what I've read, so Doctor Who, please start to get your gods together, because you've got potential, you're losing it. Please get yourself back into gear. Getting into home is a theme here. Yes, it's your classic generic idea, but it has more of an arc, which will elevate. That saying, the Mandalore arc in The Mandalorian Season 3 was a hit. Yes, it's unpopular, but it meant something to me. Belinda has an appeal like the Gym Boys and 15, so that shouldn't be a problem. If you remember those teasers, we had some disaster ones, some TV ones, and I just wave scenes from the series. All were seen on the BBC network, and I like the variety, as I missed that kind of promotion. Nothing can top what they did in 2007, and I like that. Yes, me and Series 3 have had our rows on certain topics, but I will leave that for another episode. Let's talk my top 8 pre-series. Number 8, Lucky Day. It's elevated a bit because of Conrad Clark being a podcaster like myself, but potentially worse, but from what I've heard, makes me feel it would be better if I wasn't spoiled with the hype pre-show. And this episode is a victim of information getting out. And I understand people getting excited, but it's still technically a leak. So people, please don't do this. I feel Ruby is getting the stories that won't allow her to shine. She deserves way better in my honest opinion. If she benefited from a KB and Neil story, which were hits, by the way, they were hits, you've seen me talking on my 5 reviews, I feel she would do way better. That saying, I can see her doing better than 73 yards and not finishing last in either or. So, that could be a possibility. So please, not last place, thank you. Do something magical, thank you. However, the hype for the Tales of the Underworld starring Asai Ventress and Cad Bane. Oh, Cadders, yes, Venus. And of course, Ventress, a day later, might kind of ruin its chances. Number 7, the reality war. Pulling the episode further down helps Empire Death, and I end up making the top 4. I'm unsure, based on my pet peeves, this will happen again. It can either go great or same situation with Seven Crew, overshadowed by Gatwa Olong, who set the bar, and that finale is epic. Oh, that song. Calm down with the song. Calm down with the song. Number 6, Wishwell. Similar position to the Ratty War and Lucky Day. I think it's got a better chance, if I'm honest, but I can't call it because we don't know much yet. So I think it could easily do well if Russell gets it right. Number 5, The Well. Pressure's on because it feels similar but very different to Under the Lake and Before the Flood, which were hits. It is a scary based Under Siege thing. Also has the death representation in Rose and Alice. I'm going to be real here. The two that I just mentioned was a hit, so I'm hoping The Well does something special for it to deliver. Number 4, the Interstellar Song Contest. Big budget, Eurovision themed episode, Freddie Fox as a local collective, and apparently there's more. Red Sabotage. There is a lot of pressure and potential here. Also, the Ballad of the Witch's Road, which I constantly listen to, might have a bad effect if things don't go a particular way. But it's Eurovision, and you know, Eurovision's had some fantastic acts. For example, who is that you know that did quite well in the competition? Nemo, legend. Who else delivered as well? Manskin. There are fantastic acts up there. Please give us some great acts. They've got a chance of doing well in this episode. Number 3, the Robot Revolution. Feels like a generic pet peeve of mine. Yes, pet peeves. But it's a bonkers opener. If they can get together, this could be good. There is pressure, as right now, the show is on a 5-episode hit streak since Dawn Bubble, and that's at least 3 Russell T Davies episodes. So that is great. That's good for him. So fingers crossed. I am not feeling a bit of wow at the moment. But please, Russell, don't screw Belinda up. And also that idiotic cyborg to watch out for as well. Oh, we love the insults towards Vince. Number 2, Lux. One of the 2 most hyped episodes with the legend that is Mr. Ring-a-Ding, aka our beloved Cuphead lookalike. Yes, more burns. This could be Russell's best historical if it all pays off. And Miami is a huge half point. Yes. Number 1, the story and the engine. In the elements, set in Lagos, kind of akin to Russell T Davies. Lagos is seen in Bonhart's episode of series 3. Oh, Lagos, what a beautiful city. Hairdressers, 15 gets a few hairstyles, the afro, the Lister-like style from series 1 back to 12, but a bit more different. The big point is, this is definitely going to allow She to shine and explore Africa in a way that I have never seen before. I remember Spyfall Part 1 and Princess, which both had scenes filmed in South Africa. Both have strong elements, but this definitely has something unique that will make this episode stand out, like with Rogue, which is still here. So I'm hoping this ends up being my favourite episode of the series. Leigh has a big question. From a combination of theories, pet peeves, rumours, potential spoilers, and the trailer, I can see this being towards things that I don't enjoy. However, if they can get it close to what the Bad Batch has been delivered in recent years, and they have done some hit episodes. The mid-season 2 stuff, for example, is so strong and political, but works a treat, does the job. And there's a scene that is so beautiful when Echo leaves. Oh my god. Not the one from Doctor Who, by the way. It's a different Omega. She's the Clone Wars 99-1, and she's great and brave. Something close should do the trick, but there is a risk of ending the dominance the show has had for years. I hope it ends up doing way better than I expected. So, fingers crossed everything gets together, because I think this could be beautiful. As it's the Interstellar Song Contest, it's time for a Leigh twist. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that's 10 safe. You know I love my little twist here. I want to focus on the Junior Eurovision Song Contest. I know a lot of people are more focused on the Eurovision, but I want to talk about the junior equivalent. It's an event I follow yearly, like I do with the European and World Championships for Artistic Gymnastics. Big fan. Of course, fun fact, the European one is actually on the same week as the Gatwa. I want to introduce you to Junior Eurovision and share some of my favourite people from the world of Junior Eurovision. So, let's get started. Time for a bit of history. Junior Eurovision began in 2003 in Copenhagen, Denmark, and was the successor to the MGG Nordic, a song competition that was held in the Nordic countries, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. 16 countries from Europe competed in 2003, and it was won by Daniel Julicic from Croatia. Afterwards, it's been yearly, including 2020, which I will explain in a bit. Singers can be aged 9 to 14 on the day of the contest. The Netherlands are the only country to have competed every year. They have done so with their national final junior song festival that has changed throughout the years. They were sent an original song that lasts around 3 minutes. The countries must sing in their own national language, but they can have 40% of the song in a different language. The voting system is 50% international personal jury and 50% online voting, public vote, where you can vote for your own country. I have on 2 occasions, but I didn't start online voting till 2021. I love doing that. It's probably one of my regular things, voting and Eurovision. It's so fun. Each year since 2019, the hosts normally are the previous winning country, but they can have first refusal. If that happens, the second place country will be given the chance to host instead. 2020 was the year of COVID. Eurovision, of course, was cancelled. They managed to find a way to still hold Junior Eurovision. Poland, who won the previous year, hosted for a second year in a row, and they held all the main things there. The countries who competed, which were 12 of them, they did a live on tape performance, not a live performance as they usually do, and the juries and the public would vote from those performances alone. Each year since 2019, the hosts have normally been the previous winning country, but they could have first refusal on hosting it. If that happens, the second place country will be given the chance to host it instead. Georgia and Spain's dancers dance in mass, so huge shout out to them. 2021 went back to the original format, and that was held in France, and everything was held in France. Before I talk about some of my favourite stars on the show, I want to talk about the UK's impact. I feel the songs for Junior Vision have been way better than what we have sent to Eurovision, except Spaceland, which I love, still my favourite UK Eurovision entry to date. UK has consistently finished in the top 5, except 2005, but never won the contest. Unfortunately, we withdrew last year because of low views. We were doing so well! I mean, I lose my head over you. Oh, you were living in the shadows, and the dark is all you need, and I want to see you in the light. I'm getting to a bit of a tangent now, but we should have still been competing. Freya Skye is one of our successes. She was selected in 2022 with her song Lose Your Head. It's a bit adult, but it's a radio-friendly song which the online vote responded to. Despite Freya being ill and missing the jury show, they still managed to create a performance using the rehearsal footage. She still managed to finish 5th with the juries. She won the online voting that year, but she stayed in 5th place as France, who won, Armenia and Ireland were scoring very close in the online vote, as they were all in the 60 to 80 bracket. They would normally be a bit more separate, like, what was it? I'm trying to remember who did well. Valentina from France, when she won, she had a bit of a higher online voting percentage. I think she was ahead of Spain. Don't know what happened with the percentages in 2022. Despite that, Freya's success launched her career. She is going to be starring in the new zombie film alongside Meg Donnelly, who you might see in American Housewife, and Milo Manham, who did Dance with the Stars on the US. It's very impressive. Stand Unique were our other recent act, and they consist of Maisie, Hayner and Jasmine, who became the first non-solo act to represent the UK at Junior Vision. They finished in 4th place in 2023, improving from 5th a year earlier. If we stayed, there's a chance we would have absolutely won if we kept doing well. Let's introduce you guys to some famous Junior Vision stars. Okay, Rachel Traich represented the Netherlands in 2011 with Teenager. This song came out at a time when I was becoming a teenager, so this was relevant. I followed the national final that year, which I've done so since 2010 when I started watching Junior Vision. 2010 was my first Junior Vision. Teenager was my favourite out of that selection, and won semi-final 1 and the finale with the maximum 36 points. She finished 2nd at the contest and is still the 2nd best Netherlands entry to date. Destiny Trignier is a fantastic soul singer. She made an appearance with her school in 2014 when Julie Van Bergen from the Netherlands made a school visit as part of Junior Eurovision Week. A year later, Destiny auditioned for Malta and she made the national final and won with Think. So she did some Aretha Franklin, great vocals. Her song Not My Soul won the entire contest and the 2nd win for Malta. She later would reach the semi-finals of Britain's Got Talent in 2017. In 2019, she was the backing singer for Michaela Pace with her song Chameleon. It finished 14 in the Eurovision. Chameleon deserved way better. Destiny would later repeat what Michaela did, and she would represent Malta with All My Love, which I love. She did have to miss out on that contest, but don't worry, she came back a year later with Je me casse. Another hit of hers. She won her semi-final and then she finished 7th in the final because of, I think, where she was placed in the run order. I think there were better songs that the public liked. I still think Je me casse was one of the better songs that year. Justice for my girl, Destiny. Carla Lazare competed in The Voice Kids France in the previous year and finished 4th. She would later be selected to represent France at Junior Vision. In 2019, her song Bim Bam Toi was a hit, especially with the Bim Bam Toi dance, and it became an emoji on Fortnite. Carla finished 5th at that competition, and I thought she should have been higher. Despite that, Carla continued her career, and she later released an album, which is amazing. She would later commentate on her country's first victory in 2020, and she would host it in 2021 alongside LG Gaston and Olivier Minne. I've recently watched the French version of Fortnite, which Olivier hosts, and he is a legend. You haven't seen him do his little jump with Letitia Miller? That was one of the most iconic moments of 2023. I will let my videos on my personal channel do a bit more because that show is iconic. Olivier is a famous face in the Eurovision world. He's done a bit of spokesperson work in the 1990s. He did a great job. Polish River hosted in Bulgaria in 2015, and she was a great host, and she brought great energy. She would later be responsible for her country's return to the contest a year later, and she finished 4th at Eurovision, the best result at that time. I want to give a huge shout out to some of the acts I think deserve way better. Ahana Ahom Koku Estonia 2020. I love that song. I can see the vocals being an issue there. Julia Kenhammer, duet into Emzam, Ulalosa, Nisam, both from 2014. I can see once again vocals could have been an issue there. Georgia Wadashi from Georgia 2019 sung an a cappella song. I just think it was slapped on. It deserved way better. Here is the question I asked at the start. Which 4 hosts have hosted the competition twice? Here they are. Kim Lian Demir, 2007 and 2012, Netherlands. Timur Miрошenko, 2009 and 2013, Ukraine. Ada Nowaska, 2019 and 2020. Olivier Minne, 2021 and 2023, France. Now, I didn't mention Olivier earlier because I wanted it to be a surprise and see if you could work out if he hosted twice, which he did. Comment down below how many you got right. I would like to remind you guys that the next episode will be Star Wars Celebration 2025 in Japan, and expect Mando Madness in a good way because I'm going to be discussing any news for Mando, any animation news, and of course any Ahsoka news. I will be discussing the beauty and my nemesis in their new show, Tales of the Underworld, so stay tuned as I'm excited to spread some joy for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Having concerns, as usual, what is going to change? We will see. Are you ready for Series 2 of Doctor Who? Comment down below or at Professor 2 on social media. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Subscribe to Phasma and Jarins and stay tuned for more podcasts. See ya.